Hello, hello, I'm Chakax. Welcome to SOVL, Genghis Khan edition. SOVL is a free-to-play turn-based strategy game pitching two fantastical style armies against one another. If you have any familiarity with tabletop wargaming, so Warhammer Fantasy Battles or any equivalent, you'll recognise what's going on immediately. If not, we'll explain the basic concepts of the game early on, so you'll pick it up very soon. Now, as you've seen from the title and thumbnail, there are a whole number of factions we can play from. We'll be playing as the Knight Commander, particularly because we wish to play a Genghis Khan style run. What do we mean by that? Well, we mean we're going to be utilising light cavalry and cavalry in general very heavily, if not totally. We're somewhat at the mercy of what SOVL allows us to select, but as far as we are able, we will exercise our discretion towards four-legged equestrian units. Knight Commander starts with cavalry, which is quite rare among lords, so that will be beneficial, and then we'll pick as many horse units along the way. We'll play SOVL on the max difficulty, so I can show you all the bells and whistles of the campaign, see if you're interested in buying. If you are interested, I strongly recommend you give SOVL a chance. The first 5 factions, in particular the Empires of Man we'll be playing now, are free, so you can have a test of all these and see if you like it, and if you do really like the game, you can then spread out onto the paid-for factions. These are all available on the channel as playthrough, so if you're curious to see what they look like, you can have a look there as well. We come to our starting unit choices now. As specified, the Knight Commander comes with a unit of cavalry. It's heavy cavalry, unfortunately, but there's nothing we can do about that, so we'll simply have to take as much light cavalry as possible as we are allowed, so our choices here are rather easy. There's the first unit of Imperial Light Cavalry, and there's the second unit of Imperial Light Cavalry. Fantastic, then we have our entire cavalry army. Let's say hello to the campaign map. This is what we'll be playing throughout. So our objective is to move left to right while traversing our way through these stopping points. I'll explain what each are quickly. The cross swords are battles in which our army will face an enemy army in exchange for experience and gold. The gold can be used in these anvils, which are armories or shops in which we can buy new units of light cavalry and upgrade the ones we already have. The elite battles these swords down are the regular fights, but harder in exchange for more gold. The random events are difficult to describe in advance, but magic items, mercenary commanders to purchase, monster encounters, a whole number of things we could see. We'll go through a couple of them throughout the campaign, so we'll show off what they can do. And then last but not least, our campsites. These can grant you a point of experience, however you typically want to avoid them in favour of battles, as they'll heal you but you lose the gold. So if your army's getting kicked around quite badly, or maybe if it's just before a boss fight, you'll take a heal. Otherwise, you want to try and avoid these as much as possible. Now, saying that, we may make an exception this run as we want to take as many battles as we can. So if the first 3 is identical before the shops, we'll take 2 fights in a random event, but after that, we have some choices. So if we come this way, we can take a fight, we can take these elites, and there's a campsite between the elites, so that's a good compromise, where we get the hard battles, but we get to heal in between, so we can be as strong as possible. And we can come this way. Sadly, it means we're stuck with a random event here, which is a shame. If we took the downward path, there'd be 1-2 random events minimum. I don't believe there's any path we can take where we can avoid 2 of them. We could try up here, in which we get 1, 2. If we try the up path, we get 1 there anyway. We can't divert and head up here. So that's the most we can do in terms of gold generation, so we'll come this way. Now, in terms of our army, every single one of these units is nameable. So you notice they have a bunch of generic names right now. Not very inspiring. So now's a good opportunity for anyone in the audience to demonstrate your knowledge of Mongolian culture. If there's any names you can think that are particularly suitable for Mongolian light cavalry, then we can name them. I'll name the commander myself, as I usually do. So it would usually be Genghis Khan, however, he is a knight commander, so let's call him Genghis. There you go. I think that doesn't really work. We'll use the K there as well. So that's Genghis. Good old Genghis. And then it would be, I believe it was the Golden Horde was the Mongols, so they're obviously not golden, they're silver, so we'll name it appropriately. But Genghis Khan and his silver horde. So we'll pick up, but the light cavalry will remain open, so these will be the real stars of the show, and I'll show you why right now. As we face Orc Scouts. Now the image on the right there will reveal, usually give you an indication of what you're facing, so there will be a unit of enemy cavalry, or what the Orcs like to pretend is cavalry, them riding wild boars. That will likely be, they'll be placed on the flanks, so there'll be a unit of cavalry here or here. So we'll put our heavy cavalry in the centre and our 2 light cavalry on the flanks. There it is. Now we each rolled a dice. us and our opponent. They rolled higher, so they get to move first, so they get to move a unit. Now, the only two keys that really matter when you play SOVL are the X key and the C key. The X key reveals your charge radiuses, and the C key reveals enemy charge radiuses. As we're playing light cavalry, we're going to spend most of the campaign dancing around these blue zones, as we rarely want to engage enemies head-on. What we can do instead is we can move our first unit of light cavalry here. Now the only other key to use is the shift key. So X and C will reveal charge radiuses. If you hold the shift key and use X and C, you can see the ranged options of any ranged capable units in the army. So shift C does nothing, as the enemy has no ranged options. But for us, shift and X shows us what our light cavalry can do. The light cavalry, as we can see, are all armed with dual pistols, so they get to shoot at range. Not the bows and arrows of the Mongol Horde, but it's a slightly more modern version of the modern Horde. It's the Silver Horde. So we can move to here and we can check ranges, so we're clearly within range of this Orc Warrior unit. However, then you see it says 5+. That's revealing to us what our hit roll is. Now for our number of attacks, they have 2 pistols each, so they get to shoot twice each. There are 5 light cavalry, therefore 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 attacks at range. And it will hit on 5+. It calculates your hit roll by determining your skill taken from the number 7. So 7 minus 3 is 4. So it would meaning that we need a 4, 5, or 6 on the roll of a 6-sided dice to successfully land a hit. But as you know, but Chakax, look, it says 5+. That's because we're incurring a -1 long range penalty. As the target is more than 50% of our maximum range away, it's harder to hit them. It makes sense, doesn't it? The further away the target is, the harder it is to hit. So we worsen from a 4 up to a 5 pup, meaning with our 10 shots, only the rolls of 5 or 6s will count as hits. You get 3 hits, which is quite average. Now, after you land a hit, the enemy is allowed an attempt to save. So we've landed our 3 hits, 6, 6, 5. We then get this shield. The enemy has a saving chance, in which they compare the power of the attack, so our brace of pistols here, our power 4, against the defense of the recipient, so defense 4. When power and defense are equal, they're allowed to save on a 4+, or the result of a 4, 5, or 6 on a 6-sided dice counts as success, which is perfectly reasonable, of course. It's exactly 50-50. When power and defense are equal, it is equal odds. And they rolled incredibly well. The Orc Warriors rolled a 6, 5, 6 and took no damage whatsoever, so the bullets bounced off of them. No worries, we'll be able to fix that later. These Boar Riders have advanced as I thought they would, so we can use Genghis over here, outposition them. Annoyingly, I don't know if they've actually touched the wood, so it might be slightly difficult to angle them. I'm hopeful they have touched the wood, so we're going to stay out of their charge radius, thereby denying them their charge, and move up here. So we can draw a line of sight, so we can clearly see them. And if you hover enemy units, you can see there are 4 quadrants. They're front arc, 2 flanks, and a rear. Charging into the enemy flanks or rear arc is overwhelmingly beneficial for a number of reasons. I'll explain them momentarily, but we're intentionally placing ourselves within their flank there. And because this unit has flanked them, what we can do, we can largely just ignore this unit of Boar Riders. We'll take a long range shot. So again, there's our 10 dice. 6, 6, 5, 4 hits. And then the enemy rolled an average number of saves this time. They didn't spike anymore. So there are 4 saves. 1 fails, 2 fails. 2 Orc Warriors get blinked off with precise shots. I'm going to start moving this unit around and out the way. End of strategic phase. Combat phase, there are no active combat, so we skip it and wrap back around to the charge phase. Now, of course, I've left that poor light cavalry unit within charge radius of the Boar Riders, which is a disaster. Oh no, they're going to rear charge and destroy me. I'm not concerned about that, as we placed our heavy cavalry unit in their flank, which means our charge constitutes an intercept charge. Number of benefits to that. One of the key ones is that any charges the enemy are attempting to make are cancelled. You cannot successfully charge when you yourself are being flanked or intercepted, so they are stuck there. Confirm. Now the Orc Warriors are desperately going to try and reach us. We're going to be seeing this strategy a lot. So we're going to be running around, forming the kind of horse archer circles that they run around and surround enemies with while we pepper them into oblivion. So now it's 4+ to read because we're no longer in long range. It's now short range, so we get our full skill. Getting 6 hits, very impressive. Another 2 Orc Warriors. And we'll do that again. So we're well within their charge radius. Here's one of the ideal stratagems we'll be utilising. So we are within their charge range. So what we'll do is we'll shoot immediately, as we can shoot and then move. So take our close range shot, pick off another 2, and then back away. And we won't do this, as there's no point in creating that much distance. Rather, we'll back away just enough to escape the enemy radius and stop. Over here, Genghis will activate his party trick, so Furious Charge. Command and retinue reroll all of their attacks. We'll see what that means momentarily. Okay, melee combat. This is distinct from ranged combat, as you no longer use the 7 minus your skill trick to determine hit rolls. Rather, it's comparing the skill of the two combatants. So, Genghis Khan here is a skill of 4 against the Bull Rider's woeful skill of 3. We have superior skill, meaning we hit on a 3+ or the result of 3, 4, 5 or 6 on a 6-sided dice count as a hit. So only a 1 or 2 will fail. We're also re-rolling failures. You see the little green dice, the effect of his ability Furious Charge. That means for any 1s and 2s we roll, we're given the opportunity to roll those dice again to try and convert them into a success. So we kind of see that in action. So we roll a 1, and then we re-roll it back into another 1. And then the second roll is the same. It's power against defense. So we are power... Genghis was power 5. The enemy defense is defense 5. So power and defense were equal. They rolled a 3 and a 1. They failed both of them and won the Bull Riders die. The Bull Riders, we can see at their stat lines here, have 2 wounds each. So inflicting 2 wounds killed 1 rider. Now our accompanying Silver Horde have 2 attacks each. So 2, 4, 6, 8. A lot of them, they're skill 4. So again, superior to the enemy. So 3+ to hit and re-rolling as they benefit from Genghis's leadership ability. It's 5 hits, which is actually 7 hits with the reroll. Now they're only power 4 on the charge, which means the enemy gets a 3. The enemy defense is superior, so they have a 3+ save, which is why those 3s, if I were just a little bit stronger, I would have done 4 wounds, but instead I only did 2, as they're very durable, the Bull Riders. But we killed another one. Now, one of the extra benefits to flank charging an enemy is that they can't attack with the overwhelming majority of their own attacks. Rather, only the one in contact, so the one touching Seers, gets to attack. So they have that one individual has 2 attacks, so there's the 2 attacks. They have inferior skill, meaning they hit on 4+. However, he did very well, despite being outpositioned. He hit both times, 5 and 4. And then we get our saving throw. So again, our defense of 5 against enemy power of 4. Our defense is superior to the enemy power, so we save on a 3+, or only the result of 1 or 2 will fail. We take 1 wound. That's alright. As long as we don't lose a horseman outright, that wound will replenish for free. So if we hover them, we can see here that one of us is injured. See how it turns red. If we lost the entire cavalry, that would be permanent and we'd have to recuperate them later. However, this wound will disappear for free, so we can disregard that. We are not going to charge the Orc Warriors as we are superior light cavalry. There's no need for us to engage in close quarters combat. We might as well take another barrage of shots while we have the opportunity. I may find it... Okay, no, we can easily... The Orcs very nearly pinned us in place, however, failed to do so. And were absolutely mulched for their efforts. The enemy have been defeated. One of many victories for Genghis. At the end of a battle, you get a few rewards. We have a flat sum of gold, which we can spend in those shops later. A point of experience for everyone who participated. We would benefit from some passive replenishment if we took damage. We sustained none at all, so we're fine. And then we're given a choice for each unit, but not commander. So we can either heal or take gold. For the units that are full HP, let's just take the gold. It's rather a no-brainer. And for our Imperial Knights, the Silver Horde, they start out missing a few, so I could patch those up and get them up to a strong size. May as well. So unfortunately that means there's one at the back there, rather ruining the unit's footprint, but there's nothing I can do about that currently. Inspect one of these random events. There we are. A siege workshop, a good place to purchase some firepower. Ordinarily this is an excellent random event, as this is very, very cheap for siege units, but that's not really within the spirit of the run. I wouldn't constitute any of those as light cavalry. I suppose a helicopter, you could construe a helicopter as cavalry. Genghis Khan would be absolutely delighted to use an attack helicopter, but we're not going to give ourselves that choice. Now we face roaming brigands. There will be an irritating unit of archers tucked away somewhere, likely back here. So what I'll do is I'll put the light cavalry on this side and have the heavy cavalry run straight at the archers to eliminate them. Oh, they're over there. Okay, we'll have to range them to death. Right, now with archers versus archers, typically the way to do this is to shoot first, as any damage we can inflict reduces their potential return fire. So this requires I move closer, which is a shame, as it gives them, you can see their radius. Perhaps if I'm clever, I can stay out of their short range, so they get a long range shot. As I'm never going to reach short range myself, I may as well chip away at them now. Whoever shoots first and reduces the enemy's output is winning a ranged battle. So that would have been 10 shots from the archers, now reduced to 7. And they will come forward and shoot me. So because the AI foolishly didn't move into short range, that was still long range. You can tell the majority of the target has to be within the bubble, and they're just about out. Because they're hit on 5+. So those 2 4s missed. Only sustained 2 hits. The enemy power of a longbow is 3. My defense is 3, so I get a 4-up save. I save 1, take 1 wound. Fine. 1 wound is effectively no damage. And then these light cavalry will also do the same. Rush up here. Try and shoot them. Only 1 hit. Slightly a bit of a struggle to hit at long distance. Our heavy cavalry race towards them. I'll move around these swordsmen later. We could win a direct battle, but why would we risk taking damage? We may as well just outposition them. Okay, now this is the injured one. So what I'll do is I'll try and cover them with the non-injured unit, thereby making it difficult for the enemy to target us. I'll also, while I'm here, they're going to short ranges, so we may as well get our short range shot as well. 4+ to hit. 5 hits. And the enemy defense is poor, so there's only 2 archers left now. And we've managed to cover the injured unit, so it'd be incredibly unlucky to sustain damage here. Now the other unit can rush forward and finish off the last few. Or not. They could roll 5, 6, 5, 6, 5, 6 and be fine. Okay, never mind. We'll do it next turn. And with these swordsmen, we could win, but why not just back away and ignore them? Fortunately, we get to activate first, so we can kill the archers before they get one last volley. Swordsmen have changed priority target. That's no problem. There we are. Calmly back away. I'll begin the eradication of these swordsmen here. Short range means we can do effective damage even against the higher target. Now we could rear charge them this turn, and that would almost certainly work. We are a ruthless bunch, the Mongols, so why ever give the enemy any chance to hold on? If we rear charge them, they could in theory hold turn around and start to hit us. Whereas if we just run around them with horse archers armed with firearms and just shoot them all to death, what are they going to do? Greatest happiness is to vanquish one's enemies. Even better if you can do so in a way that they never even have a chance at winning. Now if we pay attention, the enemy have swapped to routing this turn, which means regardless of what happens in this turn, we'll end at the end of the phase. But Mongols aren't particularly known for their mercy, so we'll just continue to hammer them. There you go. All gone. You feel a little foolish for challenging us. Kind of gives away the strategy. So in terms of priority targets, enemy ranged capable units are far more threatening than their infantry blocks, so we have to kill those first. We have enough experience on some of our troops to begin leveling, particularly both the Imperial Light Cam, so we can see what these look like now. Here's a level. You get 1 of 3 random choices. These are good. Looter means every time you press the gold button you get more, but I'm far more interested in these two. Imperial Veterans means we have extra range, which is quite nice. The brace of pistols are fairly short range, so stretching them out is quite useful. It's also a double benefit, as short range is a function of half of your maximum range. So by increasing your maximum range, you've also increased your short range by effectively 2.5. But for the first upgrade, I think I'm going to take skill, because every time we shoot, it's 7 minus our skill. So going from skill 3 to skill 4 significantly improves our average damage output. And the light cavalry here don't get any of the good ones, sadly. We're going to have to take a somewhat pants upgrade, so we'll take the extra gold for now. Yeah, the Mongols are coming to loot and despoil your lands. Get to our first shop. No cavalry. We could stick Genghis on a griffin. Would Genghis Khan utilise a griffin if it were to have the chance? I think so. It counts as a cavalry unit. I'll use him as effectively cavalry like that, so I'll count that as a win. Now we have some upgrade options. I'll immediately upgrade Genghis's griffin. There you go. It gets a bit extra defense. That matters. And then for other upgrades, right, the Silver Knights, we're going to give them a lance and shield. So whenever they charge, they get even greater power, which I think is great. Leaves us with 72, which is enough for 2 upgrades for our light cavalry at the banners of swiftness. So we'll give them +1 movement each, so they're ultra maneuverable, which is the entire point of light cavalry. Like so. Okay, Genghis on super cavalry is on his griffin, and we have a couple units of extra speedy light cav to work with. Now, as planned, we'll head up north so we can take some elite battles. First up is an elven patrol. So like us, it's a highly maneuverable army, but we should be a bit smarter than them. Now, with flying units, one of the benefits is that they can simply fly over terrain. So we'll put this here and have them fly over momentarily. And these can move here and here throughout the cracks. Right, so we have lancers, reavers, their own horse archers, which are even more accurate as they use actual bows, but never mind. Now, how do we want to do this? Ideally, we would shoot them first. However, they'll rush forward and charge us, which is a shame. So let's try and stall with another unit. Simply have Genghis fly to the middle, why not? Okay, that means that Genghis is under attack, but we can simply run away in a moment. They'll stop forward and shoot me. I can't stop it, so I'll just have to go with something else. So I'll try and start tickling those lancers. So even, you see, even at long range, it's a 4+ to hit rather than 5+. Now, they only get 5 shots instead of our 10. However, they do hit 3 times, and I get a 4-up save. I take 1 wound. I actually keep them all alive. That's quite lucky. Now, can I get into short range? If I rush this way, perhaps. Yeah, so I can run by them. So what I'll do is I intend to move by them to get into escape their charge arc. And we may as well, as we do so, get close enough to take a short range shot. Good hits. Excellent damage. There you go. And we could even, as this unit is so fast and is inevitably going to shoot us again, we could charge them. That almost guarantees that I lose 1 in combat, whereas if I try and activate some of these other units first, perhaps I can stay away from them enough to avoid it. Over here, the chariot has made a terrible mistake. It's blocked its line of sight with the forest. So the way terrain works is you can see into it, but not beyond it. So as you see, their vision stops there. We, however, can just about, I think, tip them in the corner there if I position well. So I may be able to see them, and they can't see us, allowing me to charge. It'll be very close. 2.8. I think he can still see us there. 2.7. Yes, okay. So I'm beyond their arc, but they are still visible to us. I'll charge the chariot. Now, Genghis has been charged, however, I'm unconcerned. I have no intention of facing this unit in combat, so we're simply going to leave. Benefit of having a superior mobility unit. Here, I'm going to wait. I think I can shoot this enough times such that its attack output would be worse with shooting than it would with melee combat. So maybe I'm trying to take an approach that gives us the best odds of keeping this light cavalry alive. No, they moved first, so I was dead wrong. It's because these units are locked. That unit is locked in combat. Fine, got me there. I'm gonna have to kill them the old-fashioned way. I'll even shoot them with this unit as well. 3 ups because it's point blank. There you go. Now they're dead. If I got to do that first, I could have picked them off before they could hit me. Genghis rallies, which is excellent. Over here. Now, chariots, overwhelmingly beyond any other unit in the game, need the charge in order to be effective. So you see their starting stats are 3 attacks, power 3. They're really pathetic, but they have crushing charge. So normally, even a lance and shield, a lance is a weapon that's particularly effective at charging. We get +2 power, so we go up to power 5. Cavalry, the chariots, however, get +2 power and +2 attack. So they go from power 3, attacks 3 to power 5, attacks 5. It is an incredible increase in their potency. If you deny them the charge, however, they're basically useless. They've been hit. They've taken 4 wounds. They've got 1 left. Do a single wound back, they just lose. They break and run. Now this unit has reached us, but because this unit is dead, again, no reason to take a battle that is not to our advantage. We will depart. Begin the persecution of these poor elf lancers. They have made their way into terrain, however, so they do benefit from cover. You see they're -1 for long range, -1 for cover. We're back down to our usual 5+. Getting no damage through. Excellent start. May as well use this unit to distract them. What happens now is what we're rather used to. Prepare to be encircled and annihilated. Then we may as well move to short range. Slightly improve our accuracy. Keep hitting the tree line. 6+ to hit. With they have lower skill. -1 for long range. -1 for cover. Almost impossible to land shots. But it's all just delaying the inevitable. I like it. There we are. Already waving just a little bit more damage, and I think we've got them. Let's go to short range here. There we are. That 1 wound is all we needed. We are routing this turn, so we can end the battle. Have to use our imagination for what happened to those last 4 elven horsemen. Sustained 1 casualty. Shame. And a couple more levels. So the Knight Commander leveled. Now, interesting. So, an extra attack is nice. However, I'm going to take Recruiter. So when Genghis gets new horse archers or any other unit, we can immediately level them. So, of course, he's the Mongol Horde, very well trained. We can use that. And then the Imperial Knights have leveled. Replenishment is terrible, discipline is terrible, we may as well just take Looter. There you go, we're continuing our mean streak of stealing everyone's wealth. 4 or 5 is a bit of a shame, and it's the unit that has the best gold generation, so even more of a shame. There are, I believe, elite battles after this, so I'm going to have to forfeit the gold and increase my strength. And we do want to be fairly strong. For the next one, however, we heal for free afterwards, so we can bear that in mind when it comes to choosing between either healing or extra gold. Against Gundrick now. In frustrating fashion, Gundrick has a cannon hiding at the back somewhere, so we'll have to immediately jump on that with one of our units, ideally Genghis. No, we got lucky, it's the other one, so it's just a piddly little unit of dwarf handgunners. Right, the heavy cavalry will contend with this, while my light cavalry have a field day shooting at the other things. They're going to step forward. Let's move this cavalry unit away from their ranged unit. I don't want to be shot unnecessarily. Firing into the dwarf warriors. I'm intentionally not shooting the deep guard as their masterwork armor makes them incredibly annoying to shoot at. So I'll show you why. So they're defense 5, which means against my power 4 pistols, they would already get a 3-up save. However, masterwork armor means that for any damage save they roll, they add +1 to the save. So their 3+ armor save becomes a 2+ armor save, meaning only the result of a 1 will count as a failure. They need to roll 6 tests in order to kill a single one. So with 10 guard, we're going to have to hit them 60 times on average to kill the unit. It's a bit miserable, all things considered. Just move this unit up here. Yeah, there's nothing else to do. Okay, Griffin take. So Stormwing can be named as well, of course. So if you can think of an appropriate name for that, that's fine too. And we'll move into the flank of these handgunners with the heavy cavalry. Our turn. Only the melee-oriented unit will charge. Everyone else is free to encircle and eviscerate. I don't want to shoot that. Please stay away from me. Are any of you in short range? Yes. No. Not quite. I might as well... let's take this one then. Excellent. 1 hit. Good start. Back away a little bit. That doesn't matter at all to me. I'll just lure them this way. I can't go this way as that may get us caught by the dwarf foreman, so stand on it. There we are. They moved into short range for us. How convenient. And run away. Facing the wrong way is irrelevant, as we can simply move first and then shoot next turn. We have superior skill, and we're now up to power 5 on the charge due to the lances increasing it by 2. The old hand weapons only increased it by 1, so they'd have a 4-up save, but we reduced them to a 5-up save, which was irrelevant because they only rolled 3s and 5s. Took no damage in return, so just half of them gone. And they've run away. could charge again. I'm somewhat concerned to do so, as if I'm stuck here, the deep guard will then flank me. So I'll leave it for the moment, and we'll see how this unit responds to having its morale broken. We may as well shoot the deep guard now. They're forced to hit, but then only the rolls of 1 will kill one, so this is going to take a long time. Yeah, I thought so. They've locked onto the knights now, so let's just back off. We'll put ourselves into a position to charge those handgunners if I need to. Now move first, so now we'll move and then turn. So this is how the strategy works. If they move up, in one turn you'll move and then shoot, so like this. And then next turn, because we're facing the correct direction, we'll shoot and then move. So move then shoot, shoot then move then shoot, shoot then move. Eventually we'll run out of range. However, because we're staying tight to the enemy's charge arc, the AI is slightly dim-witted. It won't do the correct move, which is moving all the way up here directly in front of me. They'll inch forward just enough to catch us and give us plenty of room to basically disregard them. Ideally, that deep guard can be aggroed back onto Genghis here, so let's just move to there and see if we can distract them. Look at the big shiny griffin. Flap your wings. Squawk a bit. Try and draw their attention. We'll stay on the handgunners. I don't want them shooting us. Come, this pesky unit. Can I just ignore them and put more damage into the warriors? Yes. I would rather shoot these as they only get a 3-up save. There we are. That's what I wanted. Perfect. Get away from you. Another inch, so again, shoot first. Slowly we'll eliminate the unit, and then we back off. Do you think it's time to try and... I'm going to escape another direction. Can't actually fit through there, so we'd have to be up here. I don't. We can easily we can stall out another couple turns and keep shooting them. Charge the end. Superior skill, fantastic hit roll, and they're all gone. There you go. Turns out a charge from a heavy cavalry unit armed with lances is quite brutal. Who would have thought? They're on your case. Somewhat annoying. I would rather engage this one. I just move through here. Yes. Other warrior. Now this one's moved. I could set up a double charge against these deep guard. It's kind of a risk as they are. I doubt I can break them. I'm power 5, they're defense 5, which means they get a 3-up save with their masterwork armor. Even with the charge from the lances, they're so durable, they'll probably just endure it. I could put both a side and flank. The griffin may take some damage, but I intend to heal the griffin anyway, so yeah, let's set this up. Let's surround them. See if we can break a single unit of deep guard. They're coming towards us. Now, because they moved closer, we can shoot them. And then we can make our way out here. The unit is now so small, it's fairly easy just to run around them. Try our hand here. Can we break a single ultra-durable infantry unit? Don't care about that much. Let's just get out of the way. His friend's dead. Just the dwarven foreman now. We gun him down. 4 wounds. Yeah, he's gone. He only had 3, bless him. Try and unpack ourselves from this corner. We will utilise Furious Charge and Genghis and the Griffin to reroll all of their hits. Try our best. Okay, so 4's to hit is with equal skill, but re-rolling doesn't make a difference. And then we're only power 5, so they get to save on 3s. It would be 4s, but Masterwork Armour worsens it. The Griffin is power 6, so actually does quite with all the bonuses. I don't take a wound, and then the cavalry at the back hit fairly well. Kill a few more. That's probably enough to overwhelm them, even with their good discipline. Whenever you lose combat, you're forced to take a break test. So, break test is a function of how much you lost by subtracted from your discipline roll. So what they took, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They took 5 wounds and were flanked and rear charged. So you get 1 for flanking and rear. So they lost by 7, and then they had a rank. So add 1. So they had to roll a 3 or less. Yeah. So you can see the result there. Discipline 9, rank bonus 1 up to 10, minus 7 down to 3. Have to roll a 3 or less on 2 dice, which is difficult to say the least. I'm not going to charge them again, it's not worth our time. Slowly picking away at this one is all we need to do to win. They rally because it's functionally guaranteed that they do so. But this unit will roll enough ones to break them. No amount of being heavily armoured will save you from the Horde. They are routing this turn. Well, as they're routing, I will take this charge now just to squeeze some extra damage. For min-maxing, you could simply skip this entire phase, but we are brutal and murderous. Raiders from beyond the lands. Here to do damage. Let the Lancers pick up a few more. Something tells me this wouldn't end well for the last 4 Deep Guard, but we made it through without casualties. And remember, we get free replenishment at the impending campsite, so for this turn, levels, I think an extra attack for the Griffin is the way to go. We'll simply take all the gold. Going to heal. So this is how camps operate. You appear, every unit immediately receives a round of healing, and then you're given a choice between either a point of experience or a second round of healing. So this is the trade-off between campsites and battles. You get no gold at all, but you can get the equivalent amount of XP, so you get 1 XP from a fight, and the same amount of healing if you press the heal button, or double healing if you're in dire straits. For our cases, it's very easy, so we're simply going to take the experience. The light cavalry have all leveled again. Very good. Okay, this is the one with veteran skill, so we'll now increase their range. And this is the one with looter, which is a shame. I'll increase their size so they can start adding more of them. We can't do it immediately, but next time we'll be able to. Increasing the size is great as it just means we get more shots. Sadly, I can't shrink. I can't stretch the heavy cavalry unit out to 8. The way attacks work is you only get bonus attacks from the front rank. So the front cavalry units get 2 attacks each. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Everyone at the back, however, from the second rank only gets 1 supporting attack. So that's 12, 13. If I could, I would place him here and just go 7 across, but the game won't allow me to do so. He is effectively 2 ablative wounds at the back, which we can spend in another elite against von Platen. Oh good, humans. I haven't figured out that cavalry is the best. Again, there may be a pesky cannon with which we must contend, so I'll place you right in the centre to try and jump on it wherever it is. And I'll entrust the light cavalry just to walk up either flank and kill things. It's there. Okay, I need to somehow get to that as fast as possible. In order to do so, I need these units to move forward. This is going to be a real headache. I'm going to have to sustain some fire the first turn. I can't stop it. Okay, that unit has moved first, which is convenient as I can sort of begin moving around them. I can also get out of cannon range. I could hide in the corner. Would we defeat this unit in combat? We do have more attacks, but that's about the only thing going for us. That's the cannon's arc there. Can I escape both it and their charge? No, I'm too large a unit. That one guy at the back is absolutely ruining this. It's doubled our footprint size. Otherwise, I would only be this side and can easily slip in here between this and this. But no, I'm stuck, having bits blown off of me by cannon fire. I don't want to take the battle because it's super tight. Yeah, I mean, equal skill, equal stats. They get 2, 4, 6. They get 12 attacks and I get 13. Is the only difference. It's really not much in it. For that reason, I might have been better off squashing the unit down. I could do this to escape. Oh, maybe if I'm very clever. What we can do is we can abuse the fact that unit charge radiuses have a bevel, so they're slightly further in the centre than they are in the corner. So if we come this way and move towards their corner and then twist, we might be able to do this such that I can see them but they can't see me. So if I'm there... No, stop going. Why are you going 3 every time? Just move up a tiny bit. I don't think I can quite draw a line of sight. If I move point... There, okay, that's as close as I can get. I think I can draw a line of sight to them and they can't reach me, meaning I get the charge bonus. I get cannoned immediately. Oh, that's a disaster. Alright, so the way cannons work, they don't hit, they don't use, it's not the usual skill -7, rather they roll a dice and they get that number of hits. So the dice is a result of 1, 2 or 3 and that's their hits. They roll the maximum, they rolled 3 hits, so the Griffin took all 3 rounds, and you see the skull there, double wounds. This is why we hate cannons as a cavalry army. Every shot they fire has lethal shots, dealing double wounds against multi-wound targets. So our 2 wounds and all of these won't save us. Rather, if any wounds go through, we instantly lose 1. It's not particularly good news for the Griffin either, as its 5 wounds will disappear with all 3. So its power, what, 8? Something outrageous like that. Yeah, power 8 on the cannon. So I get a 5 up save because I purchased the extra armor. If I don't make a single one of these, the Griffin dies instantly. If I make just one, I'm alive and should be able to get over there and kill it. I'm past 1. Okay, I lose 4 of 5 wounds and I'm barely clinging on. Phew. Now I need these units to come forward to allow me to hop over and catch them. I'll have to bait them out with other units first. I may as well take some long... We'll shoot the halberdiers as they're fragile compared to the swordsmen. They're only defense 3 relative to defense 2. Okay, now I might not be able to do it this turn, as I can't get this. So what I can do instead is I can simply wait here. All of my units should be somewhat safe, as I think I can... No, they'll shoot that light cavalry unit. If this unit moves forward and blocks line of sight, that's fantastic. Otherwise that light cavalry unit's going to take another barrage. There's nothing I can do about it. Hurrah, they blocked their own line of sight. I rather anticipated they would. And then next turn, we'll hop over and pick off the cannon. Now I can deny them their charge and get mine. So I'll have the benefit of the power increase. They have hand weapons while I have lances. Yeah, the cannon can't target anything, so I'll stall out these units first. Guaranteeing our Griffin can hop over. Get away from these in case they come running forward. Well, they were trapped on their own ally there. Unfortunate. Back away. We're in that awkward dead space where they haven't moved yet, so I can't tell who their targets are. And now we can move freely. Can I get to the rear arc of this cannon? Probably not. That'll be a side charge. That means it may very well do that last wound and pick me off in combat. Well, if I had... There's no difference between a flank and a rear charge in this instance, so I'm actually going to take the front arc, so that I'm in a better position later to try and avoid things. I would have loved a rear charge so I can go straight into the back of these knights later. But here we go, the Silver Horde versus the Order of Lancers, who don't have lances, and we do. It's a slight misnaming there. We have equal skill, but I get 13 attacks, so 4's to hit, the average being, what, 6.5? 7 is average, and then we're power 5, but they only roll a single fail. They roll incredibly well. They get 3 hits back, I get a 3 up save due to them having no power benefit, and take no damage, so I win by a single 1. And they break, because they roll a terrible discipline check. That was rather lucky. Okay, let's put a stop to this horrendous cannon fire. Interesting. The halberdiers want our knights. In that case, I'll use Furious Charge right now. I want this dead in 1 turn. Swordsmen have a problem with our light cav. The knights rally. Can I slip through, do you think, to reach and hit those knights in the back? Yes. It may be somewhat worrying, as this unit may turn around and hit us in the back next turn, but I need to deal with them. So I shall... Yeah, I think I'll have this unit run this way. I'll drive by, shoot the swordsman, but the real target is the halberdiers later. Alright, so the way cannons work, they lose defense whenever you charge them, so they're down to 3. So we should be able to rip this apart. 2 wounds from Genghis, and Stormwing. Hits every time. Wounds every time, killing it. No hits back. Phew. Yeah, they're really not designed to participate in combat. They're very, very intimidating at range. Artillery is our hard counter in effect. And they do, sadly, exactly what I thought they would do. I think my best bet then is actually to flank, to charge them with this unit. Can I fit into their rear arc, do you think? Or does it have to be a side charge? It will definitely have to be a side charge. Well, if we can kill 1 more, that means they only get 2 attacks, which means I should be able to spare... Oh, that's a nightmare. Okay. some reason this unit locked onto the other target. Okay, so to save this unit, I have to recharge this one, and to save this unit, I have to recharge this one. So all my cavalry is about to be committed. Oops. Could come around here and try and flank this one to help. Like so. With only one wound left, that risks losing the Griffin, but I need them dead and gone. Hopefully you break and run again. No, we're stuck there in an infinite grind battle. Let's charge everything. So I have to do this. And we'll intercept them. Okay. So this will be gone. This may not go my way. This is kind of unfortunate. But once this unit's been handled, we can then turn around. Using Inspire Valor, so they're adding to their combat stats. This is a wet noodle contest now because we're both more durable than we are offensive. I'm holding the spacebar button to skip through this. So only one hit, so I won't lose a light cav, which is excellent. Much more. One hit. Now, why halberdiers are a nuisance for cavalry in large units is their property. So rather than other melee weapons like adding power or attacks, they render it such that damage saves can never be better than a 4+, so they hard counter armor. Usually power 3 against defense 6 would be going to get a 2-up save, only a 1 would fail. But because they're reducing all saves to no better than 4+, I only get, lo and behold, a 4+. So a 1, 2 or 3 will just instantly kill Stormwing. We rolled a 5, we got away with it. Because they're surrounded, they can't run away, they're cut down to a man. Here, we do some good damage to the swordsman who can't fight back. So if we're a bit lucky... No, okay, they turn around. This unit's going to take some serious damage now. As they're facing the wrong way, I may as well immediately engage with Stormwing. And if this combat is ongoing, I would like to charge in here and help, but I don't think the game will allow me to fit. It's possible you can't shoot into active combat, so no fire, but I don't think I'll be allowed to squeeze in there. 2 wounds. Take 1, we're winning again. Okay, maybe now? It's kind of a tight squeeze. Alright, so the captain does a wound to the light cav. Genghis kills a swordsman. Light cav pick off some more. I might lose 1 here. Yeah, 1.5. And then that's most of the swordsmen gone. And they're also surrounded and eliminated. They're already routing. This battle is effectively over. I thought so. Can't fit in base contact. There's no way to fit the unit in there. So, sorry, knights, we can't assist you. They're routing, so we'll just hit spacebar. If we're really uninterested in the combat, you can use control space to basically instant skip it. So this happens. Boop. And it's gone. There you go. We lost horrendously, lost 2, and actually that's a terrible outcome. Woeful performance, guys. Probably took 3 wounds, or no, we had 4 saves to make and failed every single one of them is what happened. We got 1 back for free because of the laughable damage we took. Here we can take another point of recruiter, so we instantly get 2, and I think I will. The stat increases will come into effect later, but for now I just want super competent cavalry on spawn. And then these knights, ooh, reroll all their missed attacks, it's excellent. Healing, I think there's another battle before the boss, but I do need some health because we're kind of depleted here. Is it the shop next? It might be the shop next, which really wants me to take a bunch of gold. 5 will probably be okay. And then 5 will be okay. I can make it 7 before the boss, so I'll take gold there. 4's not great, but again, it's only the difference of 1. I'm going to be greedy and try and take as much... Oh, no, it was a random event. Oops. That's really bad news. That means I'm going to have to go into the boss underpowered. But I do get some more light cav as recompense. Okay, so it's worth it. So extra unit size I can't immediately make use of, but it'll be useful later. And then Imperial Veterans for the extra range. Good. It leaves me 250. I can't quite get a secondary Genghis on Griffin. Never mind. Okay, now, we could give him his own lance and shield back on that Griffin, so he hits things super hard, or buff the cavalry. I want to buff the cavalry. Particularly the Imperial Knights, we can give them a curse standard, so for the turn they charge, they get +1 attack, so they become absolute blenders in combat. Banner is swiftness for the cavalry again. We like moving fast. Banners of Mist, these are the ones that they impart -1 to hit, so pesky enemy ranged fire is going to have a hard time reaching us because they suffer even further penalties to trying to shoot at us, which I like. The benefit of Light Cav is that we're maneuverable, so Banner of Mist and Banner of Mist and the Light Cav. This Light Cav doesn't have that. I could give them melee stat increases, but that's not very tempting. I don't want them to be good in melee. So rather, I'll come up here, I'll give Genghis, I'll give him a lance and shield, or will I? We're armed with a hand weapon, which is currently giving us +1 power in the charge and a permanent +1 defense. Defense on characters is fairly niche in its applicability because the defense of the mount, the Griffin, will be taking all the damage, and then once the Griffin dies, we just instantly die anyway, so it makes no difference. Rather, the defense for a character only comes up if they enter a duel, so if you throw them in with another character, they'll fight directly, and then their individual stats do count. But for most purposes, that doesn't matter, so it's a choice between either the lance, which gives us extra power, or the great weapon, which forfeits the extra defense. We go down a defense, however we get permanent power. So we'll get +1 power permanently, and then 1 extra when we charge. So on the charge, we're equal to the lance and shield, but then outside of the charge, we're actually better. And because I don't care about defense, I'm going to do this. I'm going to give both of these. So a permanent +1 power with the magic item, Flame Tongue, and then the great weapon for even more power. The Genghis now hits really hard. When he charges, he's up to power 7. The only thing he lacks is attack, so we can increase his attacks and skill stats later. But there you go. We've got our cavalry army as planned, with one fancy one in the middle. We have another random event just before the boss. Circle of Power. Oh, good. Genghis Khan is magical. Of course he is. Okay, so we get to pick spells. Genghis is learning wizardry. Right, Primal Fury. Target has +1 power and rerolls its attacks. Wild Form. The caster has power and 2 extra attacks. Or Hex of Ruin. Target has -2 defense. Primal Fury is kind of worthless because the melee units, so the Imperial Knights, will reroll all of their attacks anyway with their Veterans upgrade, and then we can make Genghis buy magic items to do that anyway, so it's just power, which is okay. Wild Form would be really, really nice for Genghis in particular. 2 extra attacks makes him super potent, but the best spell in the game, and the one I can't turn down, is Hex of Ruin. Basically nullifying the enemy defense for a turn is so potent. Because it can be used in combat, but more importantly, it can synergize with shooting units. So we can pick if there's a big nasty enemy unit like a giant running around, we can lower its defense and then hammer it one turn with a bunch of ranged fire, and then it will just die. They're reliant on their defense, and we can cripple said defense. But that won't happen right now. We're up against the Act 1 boss, Prince Ias. Okay, we're going first. There will be some range things to be concerned with. It's a large map style though, so we can kind of hide behind terrain. Try and not take too much range damage. There's probably some annoying bolt throwers at the back I'll need to charge quickly. These can come up the flank. I'll trust you with this flank. Let's just get stuck in. Okay, so there's actually not bad. There's 2 bolt throwers that I'll kill as fast as possible, and the rest is melee. So this unit of cavalry can of course rush up here and flank it, but I need it to... Oh, it's going to take 2 turns to get that out. Okay. We'll have to sustain some fire. You can definitely reach that in 1 turn. Let them shoot us a bit. Okay, the inevitable shoot and scoot happens. I'm not so desperate I need short range yet. We'll just take our time here. Here we go. They tried to fire the light cav and failed. No damage. Good start. That unit has no line of sight to any target currently because of its terrible positioning. So if I just stay out of its radius for a turn, I can prevent any damage. That sadly will probably cost me the damage output from this unit for a turn. No, I should be able to hit the spearman. Yeah, effective even at quite long range now with all our benefits. Yeah, the terrain, for whatever reason, the AI isn't smart enough to realise that you can move artillery. So artillery has to choose between either shooting or moving, but it can't do both. So obviously here, where they've got, you know, no line of sight to any target, the best move would be to just reposition, but they won't. They'll just sit there. Oh, I'm dead wrong. They originally didn't have line of sight, but they twisted and saw that one. But we took no damage because they can't aim. I knew they would miss, that's why I didn't bother repositioning. Ha ha ha. Cough, cough. Now, I need to wait for that unit to move so I can slip Genghis into the back and kill the bolt thrower. So what I'll do is I move this unit first. It's sadly very short range, so I can't actually reach these unless I did this. And then next turn I should be able to kill... Well, this turn I'll kill this one. Okay, can I get past these annoying infantry units? Ooh, this is going to be worrying. I'm fast, but I'm not that fast. Ah, I'm just caught. It may survive another turn, and I have to spend the turn getting to here and getting over. That's unfortunate. Lowering defense doesn't really matter. So I can't reach this, and I can't reach this. I'm going to have to wait an extra turn. They haven't moved yet, so obviously stay away from those, otherwise they'll catch you in combat. Right, we'll come this way. And then next turn I can hop over and reach this. Oh, oops, have I gotten too close? Ooh. I can't quite... Well, they might reach me. We'll see if the enemy can declare a charge. I can flank them, which is funny. I don't want to do that. Oh, I can charge this unit. Ah, that may be worth it. Yes, I will. That wasn't part of the plan, but I will actually take it. Because I can defeat a bolt thrower in combat with light cavalry. And then you can deal with this one. Yeah, that's the incredible speed. So banners of swiftness have a dual-pronged effect. They increase our movement, but then your movement dictates what your kind of maximum radius of these charge arcs are. So the move 20 Griffin here is an amazing one. The cavalry with the banner of swiftness are all the way up to 17 or something incredible. They're really quick. Can I hide all my units from this? Possibly. It depends where... I could just back this unit away from the spearmen and then hide the cavalry behind the spearman unit so I can't be reached. And everyone else can just stay away from it and deny that bolt thrower any opportunity to shoot anything. This is going to take a while with the lancers. Yep, they have no valid target, so they're forced to do nothing. And the unit has wasted its turn, so we'll simply hop over here and charge and kill this unit. Do we want to decrease the defense of the bolt thrower? Well, we're already power 4 in the charge, and its defense will decrease from 4 to 2, because artillery pieces suffer a -2 penalty from being stuck in combat anyway. So it's already saving on a 5-up. I could do it again and reduce it all the way down to defense 0, which is funny. Would I be saving it for anything else? I need to use it once more for when I charge this. So yes, just to make sure this unit is freed as fast as possible, I will make this unit defense 0. That doesn't matter at all. I'll just keep shooting that unit then. Quite effective. Yeah, yep, defense 0. Hex of Ruin, crew discipline. They've hit enough times, and then, yeah, 6 is to save. They just die. They do nothing in return. Bolt thrower problem solved. Yeah, we've overcome the greatest hurdle now. We've defeated their backline artillery pieces. Now we just mock the rest of their army. The cavalry is the last thing that's any kind of a threat. Okay, who wants to go now? We need to wait for this unit to move, really. Guess I could do this first. And come this way, as they may try and catch us. I'm going to redirect fire into the spearmen now. The shots I've been placing into these lancers have been basically wasted. I'm not going to kill them. And then what do I want these to shoot at? The best option is to put all of your damage into a single unit. Oh, that was a mistake. They haven't moved yet. They may turn around and engage my light cav. No, okay, they're insisting on chasing the heavy cav around. We can ignore them. In fact, I may as well make some use of the heavy cav and just kill this unit. Still one. Oh, of course, you're over here. I could use my stats now. I'm going to save them because I'm going to eventually charge Genghis into the lancers, so let's save all the bells and whistles for later. Somehow I don't think we'll struggle tearing a bolt thrower apart. So because they lose, they have movement 0. So whenever they lose combat, they just die on the spot and disappear. They can't imagine the crew have abandoned the artillery piece and fled. We'll eliminate the spearmen. Here comes their silly infantry units again. Swordmasters, super elite infantry. Elves with thousands of years of combat experience coming to show us who's boss. And, oh no, we just run around them with horses and shoot them. Whatever will we do? Should have shot that unit. They want a piece of me. I have absolutely no interest, I'm afraid. Can I rear charge this unit? Oh no, that's a... I think that's sadly a flank charge. Well, I'd have to get beyond their arc to start with, so let's do that. No, okay, I'd have to wait until next turn to recharge them. I'll wait. We're in no rush. Do we use Curse Standard to defeat 5 spearmen? No, we'll save that. Thunk, 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 thunk. We reroll all of our hits innately now due to being Imperial Elites, and they're all dead. And nothing in return. I don't know if the Mongols employed a lot of heavy cavalry. They're obviously the archers are famous, we all know about the Mongol horse archers, but was there a lot of heavy cavalry running around? We need a history buff to let us know. Surely they had some dedicated kind of melee, or were they kind of hybrid units where they just did everything? You can use a light cavalry unit to run a bunch of guys down in combat if you wanted. Now this unit's already moved, so we can simply disregard the other one and place all our damage here. Good. Now they've repositioned again. This way. Now we've got them. And you, if we're clever, what we should do, I should try and get this unit close to these spearmen so they start attacking the light cav rather than Genghis. As the only way I get trapped here is if this unit doesn't break when I charge them and then they subsequently come around and hit me in the back. Deal with these now. Whee! Okay, now we use all the bells and whistles. Reroll all of your attacks. Oh, that's a tragedy. It's on the same side. I can only use reroll attacks or the negative. That's what on this turn. That's the correct play because we have so much power when we charge. I think we benefit more from the rerolls. And then next turn, if this combat is ongoing, I can then reduce their defense so that when I lose all of my power bonuses, I still have superior power to their defense. So it kind of works both ways. It's a shame I can't do both in the same turn. But regardless, this unit has made a terrible mistake and failed to stay on the correct target anyway. Let's encircle them. Yeah, it's just IS left now. I don't think this goes well for you. Yeah, already dead. Well, you're next, Spearman. Heavy Cav can come help with this if it's ongoing. It's only 3 attacks, which is the same, but we're power 7. Annoyingly, they're all 5 and 6. And then Stormwing. Misses 1 is power 6. And they're all double 6. There's an obscene amount of saves, but we still win. Because of all those saves they made, they actually get to hold on. 1 less than they would have broken and run away. Thanks, SOVL. Alright, let's use the heavy cav. Smash these. Can I get a rear charge if I'm being greedy? I can see them clearly. And the majority of my units in that arc, so I think that's fine. The only downside is if they die, I lose line of sight of the unit. I need to bear that in mind. I need to be able to see the other arcs. That may make it a side charge instead. So be it. I'd rather guarantee the charge than try and min-max and end up screwing myself out of actually getting there. Rather beleaguered unit of spearmen. Going to question why they got out of bed in the morning. Be slaughtered by ranged fire. Now we can use this to reduce their defense to 3. Right, again, no rerolls this time, but they still have terrible defense. There you go. I did in fact kill enough to break that rank, so I would have lost sight of them. They run anyway, but anyway, we have to bear that in mind. Now they have 2 attacks, so in theory if I charge this, they would have the ability to kill a knight. But it would be incredibly unlikely, so I'm going to be mean and try and kill the entire unit. And then these spearmen, of course, aren't long for this world. Whoosh. Annoyingly, they're in cover, so this is going to be slightly a teeth-pulling exercise, but let's see if we can pull it off. There's 1 left. Oh, God, we should be able to manage this now. Only 2 hits. Oh, he got away with it. That spearman's going to survive. I would recharge it next turn if I had the... And we'll use Curse Standard to show it off. We get 3 attacks each now instead of 2. So, and we get to reroll all, so huge number of attacks. Yeah, just pretty incredible. They're not going to kill one because they only took one hit. Stormwings participating for, I don't know, morale purposes. Victory. We dropped one. Shameful. Fine, we'll take him prisoner. Bunch of XP again. Storming levels. I'll take the extra skill. Just a little bit more hit consistency is nice. And for strength, right. Obviously, all of these could benefit from a bit of increased size, and the next battles are going to be quite difficult, so I think I will. That's it. The Imperial Knights go from 5 to 7. You get that annoying one at the back, but I can't stop it, so be it. I'll heal you, I'll heal you. Yeah, let's just take the heals and make ourselves powerful. Forfeit the gold for that turn. Right, and that is the end of Act 1. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed. If so, please do consider liking and subscribing. It, of course, does help out the channel and videos and spread them around. It also helps out SOVL. There's no real marketing team. There's a one-man developer. The only reason I'm conscious of the game is because I happen to see YouTube videos, so the more people we get sucked in and enamored, the better. If you have any notes for what you'd like to see in terms of SOVL, I've got all the factions and lords ready to play, so if there's something you're curious to look at, let me know. Or if you just want to chat with me and others in the comment section, that's great too. Thank you very much. I do hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time.